Forever in our hearts, King Charles pays heartfelt tribute to Queen Elizabeth II on the first anniversary of her passing. On the first anniversary of the death of Queen Elizabeth II, King Charles has paid a touching tribute to his beloved mother by releasing a previously unseen portrait of her, which has remained hidden from the public eye for over half a century. This move marks a departure from tradition and underscores the deep impact of the nation's grief over her passing, as well as the pride in her remarkable life of public service. His Majesty expressed his admiration for his mother's long life, devoted service, and all she meant to so many of us. Initially, Charles, aged 74, had intended to observe the anniversary of his mother's death and reflect on his own grief in quiet contemplation at his residence in Scotland. This mirrored Queen Elizabeth's own tradition of marking significant events privately, such as her father King George V's death, away from the public eye at Sandringham in Norfolk over the course of 70 years. However, in recent weeks, Charles had a change of heart as he was deeply moved by the global outpouring of grief that followed Queen Elizabeth's passing on September 8 of the previous year. In an unexpected turn, King Charles and Queen Camilla chose to spend the anniversary night at Balmoral Castle itself, where Queen Elizabeth had passed away at the age of 96, surrounded by the breathtaking Scottish Highlands she held dear. They opted not to return to their home at Birkhall on the Balmoral estate, as originally planned, to find comfort in the familiar surroundings. The Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate, have also planned to commemorate the first anniversary of Queen Elizabeth I's death with a small private service in Wales. They will attend St David's Cathedral in St David's, a historic site that holds significance as the smallest city in Britain, located in Pembrokeshire. During their visit, they will engage with members of the local community, including those who had the privilege of meeting Queen Elizabeth II during her visits to St David's. Notably, St David's Cathedral has been a site of pilgrimage and worship for over 1,400 years, making it a place of historical and cultural importance. In his heartfelt message, King Charles expressed his gratitude for the love and support he and his wife received during the year as they endeavored to serve the nation. His message was signed Charles R. and accompanied by a previously unreleased portrait taken by Cecil Beaton at Buckingham Palace on October 16, 1968, when Queen Elizabeth was 42 years old. The photograph captures a lovely and slightly mischievous look in her eyes, according to the king. The portrait was originally displayed at the National Portrait Gallery the following month, but had never been made public until now. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak also echoed the king's sentiments, acknowledging the solemn anniversary and expressing the nation's gratitude for Queen Elizabeth I's extraordinary life of duty and dedication. Sunak shared fond memories of his encounters with her late Majesty, emphasizing her wisdom, warmth, grace, and sharp wit. He particularly cherished a private audience he had with her at Buckingham Palace before presenting his first budget as Chancellor, and he spoke for many when he recalled the effect that she had on everyone she met. People across the UK, whether they had the good fortune to meet Her late Majesty or not, will be reflecting today on what she meant to them and the example she set for us all. We will cherish those memories, he said. The bond between country and monarch is sacred, it endures. So while we continue to mourn Her late Majesty's passing, we should be proud that this remarkable legacy of service, and this remarkable bond, continues to grow today under the reign of His Majesty the King. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer said the long queues through the night to see the late Queen lying in state had shown that she always enjoyed a special bond with her people. It was a relationship built from her understanding that service of this great nation is the thread that unites sovereign and subject, he said. So, as we reflect on her legacy again today, let us embrace that spirit of public service as our guide towards a better future. Her last Prime Minister, albeit briefly, Liz Truss, with whom she was so memorably photographed for the final time, also opened up about their encounter. She described how the frail but upbeat and mentally alert monarch had told her they would be meeting again soon. The Queen had welcomed Liz Truss to Balmoral on September 6 to appoint her as Prime Minister. She was very keen to reassure me that we'd be meeting again soon. It was very important to her, Liz Truss told GB News. Anne's Truss added, "She was very determined to do her duty, right to the end." The Queen died 2 days later, with Anne's Truss describing the scene as she waited in Downing Street when the confirmation came at around 4:30 p.m. "We were in the Downing Street flat with officials, other people. So when the news came through, it was sort of confirming all the worst fears that we'd had," she said. She recalled the king was very, very resolute when she spoke to him to express her condolences on the phone the day his mother died and his reign began. Today, soldiers and horses which took part in the state funeral procession and proclamation salutes signifying the new reign are to return to perform Accession Day anniversary gun salutes in the king's honor. Captain Amy Cooper, who was the lead rider in the procession which carried the Queen's coffin to Lion State in Westminster Hall, will give the order to fire a 41-gun salute at midday in London's Hyde Park. Captain Cooper is with the King's troop, almost all of whom played a role in the final farewell to the Queen a year ago. There will also be a 62-gun salute at the Tower of London by the Honourable Artillery Company, while bells will be rung at Westminster Abbey at 1 p.m. in commemoration of the King's accession. The Prince and Princess of Wales will be in Wales at David's Cathedral, where they will commemorate the life of Queen Elizabeth and speak to members of the community she met during her visits to the city. A source said it was important to William and Kate to be in Wales in honor of their new titles and to honor the bond the late monarch had with the Welsh nation. A source said King Charles and Queen Camilla will balance between reflecting properly on the public nature of moment, but finding the space for privacy to reflect in private. Dear friend, if you like everything new about the royal family and don't want to miss all the novelties, subscribe to our channel and like it. By doing so, you take part in our development. We work for you.